with Mrs. Reed.
We will be making astronaut self-portraits inspired by Mae Jemison. Mae was the first Black woman in outer space when she orbited around Earth for 8 days in 1992. You might have noticed this portrait of her at Irvington, which was painted by past students. Mae Among the Stars, written by Rhoda Ahmed, illustrated by Stasia Burrington. Little Mae was a dreamer. They say that dreamers never succeed, but little Mae was different. One day, Mae was working on an assignment for school about what she wanted to be when she grew up. What will you tell them, Mae? I will tell them I want to see Earth. This is Earth, Mae, her mother said. The flowers, the grass, the forests, and the mountains. We live on Earth. I know, but I want to see Earth from out there. That's an amazing plan, little Mae. Then you have to become an astronaut. That way you can see Earth from space. Astronaut? Do you think I could do that? Of course you can. If you dream it, if you believe it, and work hard for it, anything is possible. Mae asked her mom to take her to the library. She searched for books about space and astronauts. After dinner, Mae drew pictures of space, and she even made her own astronaut costume out of old orange curtains and cardboard boxes. Later, she asked her dad, "But how do I become an astronaut? It seems impossible." "You will find your way, Mae, because if you dream it, believe in it, and work hard for it, anything is possible." But space is so far away. It's closer than you think, little Mae, and you may get there sooner than you think. That night, Mae had a happy dream. She was dancing in space, surrounded by billions of sparkling stars. Below her, she could see Earth floating and turning like a shining crystal ball. The next morning, Mae told her parents about her dream. She wanted to tell everyone, and every time she talked about it, her eyes would light up. Do you have a dream like that makes you feel that way? In the classroom, Miss Bell told everyone to stand in a line on the rug. "Today we are all going to share our dreams about the future. What do you want to be, and what do you want to do when you grow up? Who wants to go first?" "I want to be a firefighter. I want to be a teacher, football player. I want to be a mom. I want to go to space. I want to be an astronaut." All great dreams. But all the kids started laughing. Miss Bell asked, "Mae, are you sure you don't want to be a nurse? Nursing would be a good profession for someone like you." How would you feel if someone told you, "No, that's not a good dream. Try something else"? "I don't want to be a nurse. I want to be an astronaut." Mae felt very disappointed. On her way home from school, Mae was quiet. She looked out the car window. Her world turned blue and cold. Nothing was the way it used to be. At home, Mae started crying. Miss Bell said, "I can't become an astronaut." "What a silly thing to say," said her mother. "She told me I should be a nurse instead," said Mae. Her mom wiped away her tears. "My dear Mae, I hope you didn't believe her." "Of course I believed her. She's my teacher." "I'm sorry Miss Bell didn't encourage you, but she can't stop you. No one can stop you. Follow your dream, Mae, and go to space." Wise words from Mae's mama. "Thank you, Mom. I promise when I get to space, I will wave to you and Dad from the spaceship." Her mom took her hand and they started dancing. You must always repeat to yourself, "If I can dream it, if I can believe in it, and if I work hard for it, anything is possible." Mae went on dreaming, believing, and working really hard. And guess what? She went to space and waved to her mom and dad on Earth. All right, cosmic cadets, grab a pencil and get ready to make your spacey self-portrait. In the lower left-hand corner, start by drawing an oval for the shape of your head. Then I draw my eyes about halfway between the top of the head and the chin, and I made my eyes look to the right so that it looks like it's looking at the space in the rest of my picture. I'm keeping my self-portrait pretty simple, almost cartoony looking, but you can make yours look more realistic by putting more details on it. I'm skipping the hair for now because I want to draw my helmet, so I'm drawing a big circle wrapping around my head, and it's okay if it goes off the edge of your paper. And then I draw the rest of the visor of the helmet. I was looking at the cover of May Among the Stars to get some inspiration, but if you wanted your space helmet and your spacesuit to look a little bit different, that is okay. Once you've got your helmet figured out, you can go back and give yourself some hair. I have straight hair, so I'm mostly drawing my hair with simple curved lines, but if you have different hair textures like bumpy or curly or wavy, you might want to use different line styles. Use bumpy lines, use wavy lines, and if you're looking for some ideas, you can also check out the portrait drawing guide as well for inspiration. Now it's time to fill up your background with spacey objects. You can include planets, rocket ships, comets. It's your choice, you're the artist. But it's always a good idea to start with pencil because you might have a change of plans, like what happened to me with my rocket ship here. To make this circle look like planet Earth, I drew sort of blobby shapes that reminded me of continents. If you can, look at a picture of a map or a picture of our globe to get some inspiration as well. And now I'm ready to outline. I'm using a Sharpie marker to outline, but you can use a different material if you'd like, such as a colored pencil or a crayon or an oil pastel. I would not use a washable Crayola marker though. The reason why is because we're going to be adding paint, watercolor paints to this when we're done, and washable markers will blur and blend along with your paints. So if you're going to use markers, just make sure they're permanent markers like a Sharpie. Now I want to have good craftsmanship, so I don't want any of these pencil lines peeking out to stay there. So once I'm done outlining, I will go back with an eraser and erase any pencil lines that are still peeking through. Next, I'll use a white oil pastel to do lots of little dots and star shapes in my background, even though you can't quite see them right now. And then I started filling in my shapes with colored pencils. You can color in with crayon or permanent markers or oil pastels, whatever your heart desires. Now this is my favorite part. In the background space, we're going to do a watercolor technique called wet on wet, and that means you want to get your background very wet using plenty of water, and use that paintbrush to spread out the water all over the paper, going around the objects that you included in your background. You want your paper to be wet so that the colors you choose will kind of blur and mix together in a really interesting way. The colors you choose are up to you, but I decided to use mostly purple, black, and blue in my background. With the wet on wet technique, you don't need to worry about painting nice and neatly. It's more about putting the color on there and watching them mix and blend together in a really neat way. As you add more paint, you'll notice that your background becomes more dramatic, which is what you want, and it'll also help make the white oil pastel stars stand out even more because of the contrast. you have to use the same exact colors as me. What colors would you want in your outer space? How else can you make your artwork uniquely you? Will you add glitter? Will you add space aliens? I'm so excited to see the creative ideas you come up with. As a final touch, I used my white oil pastel to add some reflective highlights on my helmet. I can't wait to see your out of this world awesome artwork.